Good morning, WHPR TV 33 viewers. Um, we have a special guest with us today, um, Michael Gilmore. He's running for the 13th District Congressional seat. And we want to say good morning to Chief Reggie Amos, our host. I'm Kenneth Holloway, the co host. We want to. We want to introduce Michael Gilmore. He was on the last segment, um, and we'd like to ask him a couple of questions. Why he's running for the 13th district seat?
Good morning, everybody. I am attorney and Democratic activist Michael Gilmore, and I am running for the 13th congressional seat that was recently vacated by Congressman John Conyers. I began my campaign in April 2017 because I realized that the district was ready for enthusiastic leadership once again. And as you see with the issue that I've stepped out on against Rick Snyder and denying every member of the 13th congressional district their right to vote and their right to be represented in Congress, of other public leaders and civic officials are asleep at the wheel on this issue. That's just another symbol of why I stepped out and ran. I've been behind the scenes for many years. I've worked with names like Congressman John Conyers and Senator Stabenow. I've organized in the community, I've registered voters, and I've done voter protection in the past. And so the only thing different is I'm still doing the right thing and fighting for the folks on the ground. I'm just doing it out front.
That's very good. That's very good. We want to know if anyone's working with you on that lawsuit that you put in.
Yeah, we have a whole team of attorneys, folks that are volunteering their time and resources to help out. We have great strategy that's evolving every day. We're submitting a lot of documents to court this week to help move along the case and to help prove our point that this is an unconstitutional effort that the governor is put upon us. Every time more facts come out, they're completely unsettling. And so we can share some of those things with you today. We've been putting them out there in the public, and they're just completely discussing the way Rick Snyder has taken the vote away from every person in the 13th district.
Thank you. Reggie, our host of Progressive Mind, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank everyone that helped in the production of this show. Henry Tyler, Sean the engineer, R.J. Watkins, Renee, and Miss Cunningham. And thank you, Attorney Gilmore, for appearing on our show.
Thank you for having
thank
me.
you, Kenny, for co-hosting the show.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I believe that this is sorely needed. We need to get young people in. I would say Attorney Gilmore is millennial, and we need fresh blood. And hopefully, he's focused on succession planning as time go on with his stay in Congress. We had the opportunity to interview Attorney Gilmore a couple weeks ago. He did a fantastic job. He did a fantastic job yesterday on Hood Research and also on Hassan and Carl's show just a few minutes ago. So if there's a couple questions from callers, we will take them. And Mike, it's not necessary that for us to have you repeat all the things that you repeated yesterday and today, but we just want to let everyone know that we have an action plan to help finance the lawsuit, and also this plan would include the people's ability to put some funds together for a campaign or whoever we want to support in upcoming elections. So if we can take a couple of callers, and then we can get into this action plan.
All right. Thank you, Reggie. Good morning, caller. State your name and why you're calling. Hello?
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Michael, I just wanted to piggyback on what I just asked you. I asked you, hold on, I asked you, what mayor did Snyder meet with? That's Mike Duggan. Mike Duggan and Snyder are boys. That's what I'm saying. That's why the 13th congressional district is not having any kind of representation right now, is because they're working together. You get what I'm saying now?
Yeah. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. So unfortunately, the governor got some misguided insight and consultation from a few folks in the district. But I don't care who he talked to. There is no one who can take away your right to vote and your right to be represented. It's an unconstitutional, what we call deprivation of your rights. And Mike Duggan, Warren Evans, no one, not even Rick Snyder, he can't take those rights away from you. They are guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. When we saw Rick Snyder implement a special election to fill the vacant seat in the 11th district for 6 weeks, he cited the Constitution numerous times. We've not heard him mention the Constitution not one time, as it is in regards to our constitutional rights. So yeah, he did consult Mike Duggan. I'm not sure how closely they are tied. I don't care who he consulted. I didn't give away my rights, and no one else can.
Well, I just also wanted to say this. Hi, Candleman.
Hi, how you doing?
Deputy Chief.
Hey, how are you?
And I also wanted to say that
Well,
I advise everybody to get a state constitution and a city charter and hold these elected officials accountable.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right,
That's
right.
every
That's
single
just
time.
plain and simple. I always, come on air and voice my opinion. I'm a young person as well. So I just, I advise everybody to get one because everybody needs one.
well, thank you.
Okay, thank you for taking my call.
And thank you for calling in. Appreciate you.
Make sure you sign up on my website so we can be in touch. I would love to talk to you more.
Good morning, caller. State your name. Why you calling?
Praise the Lord. Hello.
Hello.
morning.
How are you doing today? I
Fine.
just want to state that this young man appears to be an honest, intelligent, and qualified person.
Thank you
We
so
should
much.
always consider our young people. We should give everyone a chance. The old hens cannot always stay in office. No one determines who we want to represent us, but we are the deciding factors.
Right?
We decide who we want to run our congressional district. And I want to be mindful of the fact that people better be careful because the We Too movement is strong. You see the women's marches. So if you send someone up there that won't pass the muster, they won't last anyway. So send someone up there that's decent, with a clean background, he has the intelligence, who can be on the Judiciary Committee and make decisions, not just be a congressman, but he will be assigned to the Judiciary Committee deciding on the illegal immigrants and other important issues. And when you talk about bringing home money, infrastructure, that brings home money. And you got to get up there and fight for that infrastructure money. Also, the CCP deal about our children. Those are issues that are so important. Now, think about it. You don't want Donald Trump? Put this young man in. Somebody that knows the law and can fight for it. Please think before you vote.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so
God
much for your
bless
support.
you, young man, and God continue to bless Candleman.
Thank you very much
Thank
for the
you.
kind
God
words.
bless you as well.
And God bless you.
I hope you visit me at michaelgilmore.org so you can donate, get involved. Let's stay in contact, and so we can elect Michael Gilmore to the House seat in the 13th district.
We're going to take another call. Good morning. State your name and why you're calling.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, I was wondering if the young man can give his email address out again, if he doesn't mind.
Yeah, sure. My email address, the website is michaelgilmore.org. And you can find a little button to reach me, my email on there. But if you want to write it down, my email is michael@michaelgilmore.org. It's MICHAEL @michaelgilmore.org.
Mr. Gilmore, could you speak up a little louder, because I could barely hear you?
Yes, ma'am. Is this a little bit better for you?
That's much better.
All right, great. So my website address, and you'll see a little button for my email. It's michaelgilmore.org is the website, and my email to reach me is Michael, MICHAEL @michaelgilmore.org.
Also, sir, are you on Facebook or any other kind of electronic communication?
Yeah, you can visit my Facebook page. It's Michael Gilmore for U.S. House. We've got an Instagram, Gilmore for U.S. House. We've got a Twitter, Gilmore U.S. House. Visit my website. You'll find all of those links so you can find out everything about me. My website is michaelgilmore.org. You'll find all of my social media contacts, my email contacts, and how to get involved with me, how to donate, and what you can do to move this movement and this campaign forward. michaelgilmore.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and you are very refreshing.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
good
you.
to see some new people coming out, some new blood with fresh thinking. I'm tired of the old regime. I think it's time for them to go ahead and let it go. Warren Evans and all of those. Let's let somebody else get a chance in here now. Okay.
All right.
Warren Evans has been around forever and ever and ever. He's been running for this, running for that. Now it's time for him to go ahead and let some of the younger people come out, like yourself. And I have a son now who is studying law, who someday will be a lawyer like yourself. And I would hope people would give him the same chance that I intend to give you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you. Thank you for the call.
For the call.
We're going to take one more call, and then we're going to finish the show.
They're going to kick me out.
No, we don't.
No, Mike.
no,
If
you
you
won't.
want to stay, you can stay. But we got some other business to take care of, like
wow.
finance.
Good morning. State your name and why you're calling.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, how are you both?
Good morning.
Fine, how are
Doing good,
you?
Thank you.
Oh, very well. You know, I've always said change is going to come through our youth. And this young man is a perfect example.
Thank
He
you so
is
much.
refreshing, he is articulate, intelligent, and he has courage. And that's what we need. We're tired of these old people that are just feeding at the public trough, scared to rock the boat, if you will. Now, this young man stated, and we all know, that Governor Snyder has been usurping the Constitution for the longest. No one has called him out on it. And how can you enter a race such as that of Congressperson, and you won't even cite that the governor has been trampling on our rights? This is ridiculous. We are sick, like the last caller, we are sick of these old people just warming up old soup over and over again. I commend you, young man, and I hope that you will bring others along with your ideologies, because we are tired of this status quo, and we need revolution right now. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Make sure you visit michaelgilmore.org and get involved. Help me out. Thank you so much.
Last call.
Hey, Kenny, this is me.
Hello.
Hello, my wise and progressive friend.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead. You're on the air.
Good morning, my wise and progressive friend.
Good morning. How you doing?
Fine. Attorney Gilmore, tell me, there is a term in the law about forcing a public official to do their duty.
Right.
I can't think of the title, but there is a legal term that you can file a lawsuit against a public official that fails to do their constitutional duty. What's that term? And do you know what I'm talking about?
So you might be thinking of a mandamus, which
Mandamus,
Yes.
exactly.
Right.
Why hasn't anybody filed a mandamus against Snyder?
So it's really easy to file a mandamus when you have if you're in federal court, when you have a federal agency or a lower court. So if you're filing a mandamus in the Court of Appeals against the lower court, or you're filing in the district level against a federal agency, that comes along easily. When you have a state governor, whether it's in federal court or the state court, the mandamus is not the best technique to use. It would probably result in a loss here. And so the facts that have been flushed out, I'm pretty confident we can win, but I don't think the mandamus is the right mechanism to use. So what we're asking for is an injunction before the court, and the injunction basically asks for something to start or something to stop, and we will be asking for the stopping of the delay in the special election. Because we know when you schedule an election on a regular date, it is a regular election. It's not a special election as mandated by the Congress, as implemented in other congressional districts by this governor, but we're being denied of it. So we'll be asking, in fact, this week we'll be submitting some more paperwork to get the process moving along even quicker, but we'll be asking for an injunction and declaratory relief to say that the law that the governor is relying on is unconstitutional, because it does fly in the face of the U.S. Constitution, which we have constitutionally guaranteed protections that he's avoiding by resting on the Michigan laws, and so that means it's unconstitutional. So we'll be asking for a preliminary and a permanent injunction, not a mandamus in this case.
Keep up the good work. I'm going to get off and let somebody else talk.
Thank you so much. It's a great question.
Thank you for calling. Okay, Reggie?
Yeah, as you can see, Kenny, this is great having Attorney Gilmore run. You can see and hear the response of the people. They want change. They want radical change. And as I told you in our interview, you don't mind me calling you Mike, do you?
Please. My friends call me Gilmore.
Okay. All right, Mike. As I told you in our interview a couple weeks ago, that because you've always worked in the background supporting elected officials or candidates or whatever, your challenge is going to be getting known. And I think you're well on your way, and you're doing a fantastic job. I think you will be successful. Now, what the people have to understand is they have to get up and do their part if they want radical change. Now, the 13th Congressional District Action flowchart or plan that I have is, I said it before, everyone contact the Michigan Democratic Office at 517-371-5410 and demand that Brandon Dillon remove Jonathan Kinloch. Okay? Now, I know some folk have called as well as I have called, and we have not gotten a response. Okay? So when we talk about accountability, okay, now the thing is contact the Democratic National Committee in Washington, D.C. at 202-863-8000 and demand the removal of Brandon Dillon for failure to respond to the 13th Congressional constituent. That is the people. Okay?
Excuse me, Reg. You want to repeat both of them numbers again just in case people didn't get them?
Yeah. The Michigan Democratic Office, 517-371-5410, and demand that Brandon Dillon remove Jonathan Kinloch for malfeasance, misfeasance, nonfeasance of leadership. To sit here, as Mike said earlier, for a Democrat to sit here and side with a Republican governor that the people of the 13th Congressional District have no representation for 11 months. That's insane. Okay? So, and if you don't get a response from Brandon Dillon and the demand that you want him to remove Kinloch, then you contact the Democratic National Committee at 202-863-8000. Now, you can also go on the internet and Google Democratic National Committee and scroll down about three items, and you can see where you can contact them. You can go online and you can type in your concern. And that concern should be demand Brandon Dillon be removed for failure to respond to a 13th congressional constituent. Okay? Now, for the plan of action for the support of the lawsuit, okay, depending on your reference resource, I have 600, the 13th Congressional District consists of 699,214 people, okay? Now, 56.5% are African American. So when you minus that 56.5%, you're down to 304,158.9. You know you're not going to get everybody. So hypothetically, I divided that by 2. So that leaves 152,079,000. Okay? Now, if we can get that, then that should be our goal plus some more. But just say that's our goal. At $20 per person, that's $3,041,580. My point being is we can do this. $20 is not going to hurt anyone. And Kurt, if you're out there, give me a call at 313-399-8290, and anyone else who have an interest in organizing and raising money for political purposes, getting people in office that's going to represent the people. Okay? Now, the declared candidates and potential candidates contribute $500 each. Okay? They're going to write it off as a campaign expense anyway. The resources will be deposited in First Independence Bank or other financial institution of our choosing, the people choosing. ELE Wealth Management, located in Southfield, that's Ellis Liddell. AXA Advisors, LLC, that's in Dearborn, Gary Alawan. And the financial resources will be insured with a blanket bond by ISU Gillette Insurance Services in Winter Park, Florida. People, you are the solution. It's up to us to decide what direction we will take. And listening to everyone today that have called in and people I have talked to in the last couple of months, this is what we need to do. We have to have radical change, and I believe with Attorney Michael Gilmore, this is a start. Not addressing the issue of the 13th Congressional District vacancy for 11 months should be a disqualifying disclosure for candidates seeking the congressional seat. As Mike and others have said earlier, how can you seek the office of Congress for the district and you're not fighting for the people of the district today to have representation? So, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So, Mike, anything else you have to say?
No, I just want to let folks know you can go to michaelgilmore.org, donate, and get involved. Sign up so I can keep you up to date, and sign up to volunteer, make contributions. Find me at michaelgilmore.org. Please visit me so that we can keep the conversation going.
Okay, Mike, you did an excellent job. As I said before, I believe you'll be successful. We'll be in touch. The filing deadline is for the seat is what, April 24th?
Sometime in April.
Pardon me?
Sometime in April, allegedly.
Yeah, it's
like
April
I said,
24th.
And that's part of the smoke and mirrors because you can't even at this point. There's a deadline, but there's no starting time. You can't even sign up for this election at this point.
Okay. So, hey, man, good luck to you. We'll be in touch. And again, thank you for coming on the show, speaking to the people.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Appreciate you, Mike, for coming on. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hello, we back. Chief, you with us?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Well, we had a outstanding guest on, and we enjoyed, and we enjoy the people calling. I think they love him. They want him in. They want some new blood. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, what was it? The other day, I heard Miss Eastside, and she was absolutely right. She said it's about time that someone have enough sense to speak up on this 13th congressional seat issue, not having representation.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand. Well, I understand. I would say it's a disgrace that we have people in Lansing seeking the position, and they're not speaking up.
Right.
So the question becomes, are they in this thing to fight for the people, or are they in this thing because they want a job?
Right.
They want to make a 30 or 40-year career.
Right.
And we don't need that.
No.
So, again, I believe we're on the people on the right track, listening and supporting the young man, Attorney Michael Gilmore.
Yeah.
So we'll be hearing from him in the future.
Right.
We'll have him on our show in the future. I'm quite sure others will have him on their shows. But this is what's needed today in the city of Detroit.
Yeah. Well, people.
Now, what I want to address, and I want to provide clarity to the people. Okay. You know, I've heard a lot of people call about my list. I've heard people talk about my list of what I call collaborators and opportunists. And let me just give you clarity as why the significance of the list. The list is a vital and invaluable tool for the following: identification purposes, information gathering, exposure, fact finding, reference source, historical purpose. it provides insight on who and what we're dealing with, and it's a stimulus. The list identified political sycophants, individuals, and organizations Duggan, the carpetbagger mayor, will use to mislead the community and cause us irreparable harm. It identifies flaws in leadership. It identifies malfeasance, misfeasance, and nonfeasance. And that's the significance of the list. Now, there must be consequences imposed to all those folks, organizations, individuals, period, that have gone against the interests of the people. Some people call them sellouts, sycophants, or other names, you know. But the list is it's a living document. And right now, the list that I have prepared is Jim Holly, Malik Shabazz, Akila Redmond, Wendell Anthony, Bishop Merritt, Bishop Coletta Vaughn, Benny Napoleon, Warren Evans, Kim Worthy, the Black Slate, the Council of Baptist Pastors, Charlie Beckham, Fannie Lou Hamer, the Turnaround Detroit Committee, the 100 pastors that embraced Mike Duggan, Edgar Van, Bill Brooks, Betty Brooks, Jonathan Kenlock, Tom Wilson, Rick Blocker, Virgil Smith, Helen Moore, Joanne Watson, Theo Broughton, Janice Winfrey, Misha Stallworth, Keith Stallworth, Alma Stallworth, Keith Johnson, Tyrone Carter, Bernice Smith, the Eastside Slate, Jim Jenkins, Ernest Johnson, Shrine of the Black Madonna, Sonia Mays, Buzz Thomas, the members of the City Council, Brenda Jones, Janae Ayers, Cushenberry, well, he's gone, but Benson, Leland, Spivey, Tate, Sheffield, Bishop Wayne T. Jackson. Okay? And again, I ask you, the citizens, name a race of people that allow a carpetbag mayor to come into the city and have the top people of his administration that make decisions on our tax dollars, how they're spent, who they're given to. What race of people will allow this to happen to create debts for our children and grandchildren, for their children and grandchildren? And that's exactly what's happening here in Detroit today. A perfect example is Amazon deal. Public dollars help finance that presentation packet, okay? The financial information pretty much was redacted. The danger is you have a carpetbag mayor that put a carpetbag person in charge. That's Dan Gilbert. He's not a Detroit resident, and he's the one that did all the talking, okay? And when you look at the articles, you see in one of the main articles, the Metro Times, Dan Gilbert sent a letter to Amazon saying, what we're selling you today is Detroit. Now, that's insane. For us to sit here and not address this issue, okay? Now, the reason you don't hear a lot about this Amazon deal is because white people pretty much headed up this thing, and they use our money, and they think that they don't have to tell us anything, okay, about our money, how it's spent. There was no public input, no public discussion, And like I say, that's insane. You know, they talk about Amazon said that education or there was no talent. Okay, we didn't have enough talent. Okay, they addressed the issue of mass transit. All right. Okay, so here again, when we talk about education, who destroyed DPS? A white governor, a white mayor, and other whites. Okay? If you're in a progressive city, you know you want to attract business, and one of the main things is, hey, education, IT, technology, okay, STEM, okay? So to sit here and destroy the schools and then turn around and submit a package to attract 50,000 workers and an investment of $5 billion and to respond to the RFP, the request for proposal, with the idiotic statements that's been put in the press, it just shows you that we have a failed government in Detroit.
That's right. That's right. It's sad.
You got anything you want to say, Kenny?
Well, you know, Amazon did their research. You know,
That's right.
They did what they supposed to do. They came here. They sent people here to look over things, and they seen how the schools was that we've been complaining about, how the crime in the community was that we've been complaining about. You know, service in our community. Yeah, they seen service downtown, but they went beyond downtown. They went all over Detroit, and they seen that. You know, so this man here is what, one of the richest guy or the second richest guy in the world, and you don't think he go do his homework before he put his money out there, you know, in a city, you know? So, you know, this is what the people in the city been complaining about. You know, you have two Detroits, you know, and until you bring us all back together as one, this is the reaction you go get. It's like they trying to sweep stuff up under the rug, and it didn't work with Amazon. So, you know, do your job. You know, you got to do your job, you know, and take care of this city, you know, and quit pretending like it's more than what it is when it ain't together.
Yeah, and see, the thing is, I mean, you know, like you say, Amazon, they sent their people in. They were the fact finders. They not only looked at downtown, they looked at the entire city. They had a matrix that they had, and that matrix focused on government, the leadership of elected labor, community, and clergy. They looked at, it included transportation, schools, crime, poverty, the quality of life in Detroit, the health issues. They looked at environmental concerns. Detroit overall is 139 square miles. They looked at the conditions of Detroit. They looked at public safety. They realized that Detroit is an unsafe city in terms of public safety, police fire. We got police fire staffing issues. And you got to understand that Jeff Bezos, he owned the the Washington Post or the New York Post.
Yes.
He bought it, so he knows offhand what the problems are in Detroit just from news reporting. But then when he sent his people in here to take a look at what's really happening in Detroit, no. Why? Just like mass transit. Okay, the RFP say we're looking for a city to have mass transit. Well, how is it that Detroit, Dan Gilbert, and all the rest of them, they say, well, hey, we'll work on mass transit. Okay? Well, Amazon looked at it and seen where your mass transit is the people mover and a toy choo-choo train that go 3.3 miles at what, 8 miles an hour?
Right.
That's what you call mass transit?
That's right.
So, no. I mean, I could have went on Dexter, Davidson, Linwood, the Boulevard, the Far East Side, and got people to put a better package together.
Right.
So that's why you don't hear too much about the loss of Amazon. Had that been, say, Coleman Young, if it had been Kwame Kilpatrick, if Kenny Holloway was the mayor, they'd be blowing up the press every day, 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, saying you're a failure. So we have to call it as it is. And it should be, as they say, it should be a wake-up call. Hopefully it's a wake-up call. And this carpetbag mayor will understand that he's got to include the people.
Right.
Again, there should have been a public hearing because we have some knowledgeable people in our community that will speak up and they know the issues.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call, Ken.
We'll take a phone call. Hello, caller. You on the air?
Hello.
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 Yes.
Yes. How you doing today?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. And to Mr. Amos, how are you?
I'm great.
Yes. Okay. I want to ask Mr. Amos because Attorney Gilmore left. How do you all know that it's 699,000 people in Detroit that are registered voters? Could you answer that for me right quick?
No, it's not. It's not 699 registered voters in Detroit. What I researched in the 13th congressional district, it's made up of 699,214. So the whole point is, whether you are a registered voter or not, the point is you have no representation in Congress. Period.
Okay. Now, the reason why I was saying that is because, and I think me and you, we talked about this about 5 or 6 years ago, and I did my research, and I called my girlfriends, and I called their mothers or their fathers, whomever died. They're still getting absentee ballots, and I'm going to say the applications. So if Janice Winfrey and the state's supposed to take those people off the roll so that they will not be getting absentee ballots. I'm still getting one, and my mother been dead 11 years, and I just got one back here. So with that being said, is that they're still using the deceased as people to, vote.
Well,
So
the only thing I can say, caller, is you should be one of those individuals in the period that is donating $20 to help get this thing straightened out. Next caller, please.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, caller. You on the air?
Thank you. You know what? I just walked in, and this is the best program I have seen. I only walked in about 10 minutes ago.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is it going to be repeated? Because I want to tell the neighbors and the Black Club about it.
Well, right now, what we can do is ask Mr. Tyler to, if he would produce a DVD.
Yes.
And you can come and get a DVD. That's one way. And then another way, I'll see if we can get this show repeated.
Yes, because it's informative.
If we can do that, then
a little
we will
over 10
announce
minutes
it,
ago.
and hopefully your schedule will allow you to view it.
I hope so, because this is really helpful.
Good.
It really
good.
is.
Glad
and
you
Mr.
enjoyed it. I
Amos
mean, it's just
and
the
the
fact that
cameraman.
hey,
I'm sorry, I just walked in.
We have to stop letting people take us in Detroit for granted.
Yes, I want my neighbors to see this. That be going the other way. They need to see this.
Yes.
I'm telling
And
you.
see,
I thank you so much for taking my call.
You're very welcome.
Okay, you're welcome.
And thank you for calling
Kenny.
in.
Kenny.
Yes.
Yeah, see, this takes by Amazon coming in, looking at Detroit in this totality. It takes the ignorance out of someone saying, my grass, I endorsed and voted for Mike Duggan because my grass is cut, my garbage is picked up, the street lights on. That's ignorant rhetoric because, again, that's basic services.
Right.
And people outside of Detroit, they realize that. They understand that. That's just like everywhere I have a home, condo or whatever. The garbage is picked up twice a week. The recycle is picked up once a week. The rubbish is picked up once a week. Hell, that's a basic service.
Right.
So when I say Amazon looked at the government, okay, you got the mayor, the city council, the sheriff, the NAACP president, the county exec, top clergy, top labor union officials, in terms of leadership, talking about, oh, the grass is cut, the garbage is picked up, the street lights on. Man, they say, wait a minute. Sometimes the people might not know what the basic services are, but when you have your leadership talking like that, then there's no way I'm going to invest $5 billion in a city that's behind the times. A city where the mayor and the city government do not respect the people. That the mayor and other elected officials in Detroit are disconnected from the people.
Right.
They understand, and it all falls under quality of life.
Right.
And we, the people in Detroit, we have a substandard quality of life advocated by this carpetbag mayor and his sycophants. It's sort of like Big Daddy, Mike Duggan, on the Candyland plantation,
right,
with ignorant Negroes.
Right. They like I said,
that's what we have here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, they did their research. I mean, they going through neighborhoods. They didn't just stick downtown. You don't come here and just stay downtown when you're investing. You look different areas and you know, they look at the housing that need tearing down. You know, over on the east side, west side, in different areas that's supposed to have been taken care of. I mean, it's sad. The streets is tore up. You're tearing your cars up out here on the roads in the city. You know, so it's a lot of things that they looked at. You know, and we have to. These black folks have to stop. You know, making excuses for these leaders in this city. You know, and the state. You know, I don't know why they keep making excuses. I can't make an excuse. You know, right. When things ain't right. You know, so they did their homework, and I'm glad they did their homework because they brought. You know, we didn't even make the first round. They cut us in the first round, and that's crazy. You know, look at all the other cities and states that still made it to the second round. We got cut the first go round.
Let me say this, Kenny. Mike Duggan brought in Roderick Miller and put him in charge of the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation. He got rid of George Jackson.
Right.
Okay. He brought in Arthur Jemison to come in and be in charge of housing. Okay. Now I remember in 2015 watching Flashpoint. Both of those gentlemen was on for an interview, and they said that downtown and midtown is okay.
Right.
What the mayor and his administration should do is focus on the neighborhoods.
Correct.
Now, why did Mike Duggan bring in Roderick Miller and Arthur Jameson? Both of them are African American, and both of them, I'm telling you, both of them are experts in their field.
Right.
But see, it's the old game. Duggan and his people didn't know economic growth. They didn't know housing. So they went out and got the best black men to come in and show them. And then after 2 years, they figured that they had a handle on it, and they got rid of Roderick Miller.
Right.
And they bouncing Jameson around from housing to economic growth back to housing. So that's just a political game
that they playing.
that white people use.
Well, we got one call.
So hey, I mean, I know we down on time.
Well,
if anyone want to contact me, Reginald Amos, my number is 313-399-8290. Again, 313-399-8290. I thank you for viewing the show today.
Well, we got a little time
hope
left, Reggie.
that everyone enjoyed the show, and we'll be talking in the future.
We got a little time left. We're going to take this last call.
Okay.
All right. Hello, caller. You on the air?
Yes, hi. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. How
Good.
you doing?
I want to know one thing I've heard so much. I want to know from Amos. Amos, do you have an address in the city of Detroit?
Absolutely.
How long have you had that?
37 and a half years.
So you don't have an address in Florida?
I got an address in Detroit. That was your question. I have an address in California, I have an address in Florida, and I have an address in Nevada, since you want
Well,
to
I
know.
just want to say that I don't trust you at all.
Oh,
And to
I
call the
understand.
mayor
Have a great
a
day.
carpetbagger. I mean, that's not
Have a great
intelligent
day.
at all.
Okay, thank you for watching the show. We appreciate the calls, whether you agree or disagree. You know, them your opinions. We thank you. We'd like to thank our guest that came on, Michael Gilmore. I think the people want new blood in office. And thanks again for everybody calling.